throughout not only till she's 25, but it's going to continue to grow throughout the lifespan. It's wonderful, wonderful new work on that. What I want to suggest to you, and this is to put in relationships, resilience, and reflection all in one slide, is this. There's an injunction I was given a year and a half ago that said, please find a way to make the world a kinder place in a secular fashion. So what I'm suggesting in response to that question that was asked of me is that brain brushing can become a daily activity just like toothbrushing is. Okay? And this would be a form of brain hygiene just like you have dental hygiene. How many of you brush your teeth? Right? We brush our teeth. We do. We brush our teeth. Why not have a reflective practice where we know you get amazing things from that so that the brain becomes integrated? It gets pulled together. Now, when you have an integrated brain and you do your brain brushing, this is what happens. Watch this. This is from science, that the area just behind your forehead, and we'll do this very quickly, you put your thumb in the middle and put your fingers over the top. That's a really handy model of the brain. And you have your spinal cord, your brain stem, your limbic areas all there. The part we're going to talk about is the cortex, and the frontmost part pulls it all together. The part we're talking about is your middle two fingernails right there, that area. If you lift it up and put it down, notice that it connects everything. And that's true with this area called the middle prefrontal cortex, that which reflection develops. Now watch this. Here are the middle prefrontal functions that Mindsight promotes. Watch this. And you think about how many of these you would like. Bodily regulation, so you keep your heart and your intestines working well. Attuned communication with yourself and others. The ability to have emotional balance, so life has meaning and energy, but not too much so it's chaotic, too little so it's rigid. The notion that you have the extinction of fear. You also have the ability to be flexible and pause before you respond. You have the capacity for insight into yourself and then empathy into other people. You also have this capacity for morality, to realize we are a part of a larger whole and we enact behaviors and can imagine what it's like to be for the greater good. And finally, accessing intuition. Now, how many of you would like to have that in your life? Yeah. This is possible. Research shows that empathic relationships and reflective skill training promote these. Of course, anyone who's a parent knows you can flip your lid and sometimes lose any of those, right? And any of you do that as parents? There you go. Well, you can see. Now, the fact is we can develop these in children. All 9 of these middle prefrontal functions can be what we're aiming for so that we deliver in education an integrated brain. An integrated brain. And what we would have then, in conclusion, is a child who honors the way the mind is important, that the circuitry of compassion has been developed so that relationships, the brain, and the mind become a triangle embedded in this child's synaptic connections. So they realize they're a part of a larger whole, they feel attuned to themselves, they feel committed and responsible for others, and they go forward in life with this synaptic circuitry that allows them to feel connected, to have a sense of equanimity, to have wisdom in their life, and a sense of responsibility for all living beings on our planet. Thank you very much.
So stay up for 1 second.
Sure.
And, you know, we've had the opportunity, I've had the opportunity, and we have to, at Blue School and Blue Man, to hear you speak several times over the last month or so. Your book, Mindsight, you talk about a practice of Mindsight, right? Mm-hmm. So is this something, can you sort of relate the practice of Mindsight to the educating kids in
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, the first thing to begin with, of course, is having teachers really know what this reflective skill ability is. And it's like the difference between, in your own life, looking at just behaviors, which are the physical aspect of the world, and versus looking at the mind that's behind the behavior. So what you can do is train people, literally, to become aware of the signals of their experience. So I'll give you, can I do a little a demo?
Please. Yeah.
Okay, so just all of you, to see what this is like, just let yourself notice whatever happens as I do what I'm about to do. Okay, just notice, right? Okay, just notice. Now, one moment. Just notice whatever happens. Anyone notice the difference between part 1 and part 2? What did you notice? When I had a cup of water in my hand, what did it feel like? It made sense, and someone's pointing to their throat. And could you feel the water going down, some of you? Yeah? So we have a system of neurons, you can know, that connect us one to the other. And when you can make sense of what someone is doing, you actually embed that in your same body experience. Okay? So you can simulate behaviors. You can also teach, let's say, teachers how to be aware of what no does for children and make training of the experience of no and yes, as you're going to see in a second, part of what they do. Do I have enough time to do this too? Yeah, try this out. So just close your eyes and just notice whatever arises. No more drinking water. I'm sorry if you don't have water around. So just notice whatever happens when I say the following things. No. 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 Yes. 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 Now when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How many of you noticed the difference between no and yes? So what did no feel like? Negative. What did it feel like in your body? A pushing down, pushing back. It sucked. Okay. And then what did yes feel like? What did yes feel like? Say it again. Empowerment, encouragement, expansive. What else? Warmth, love. Okay. Now I'm not even your dad telling you can't have ice cream before dinner, right? So just this little teeny, like 2-minute set of exercises, what we begin to realize is that the no experience creates a reactive response from the brainstem and the limbic areas, these deep areas, that get us ready to fight, flight, or freeze. Okay? And so when you have children, either in a family or in a school, that are constantly hearing no, they get into a reactive mode rather than the yes mode of receptivity. Now, kids absolutely need discipline. They need structure. They need to have grit. They need to go forward. They need to approach things that are difficult. So I'm not saying just everything goes. There's a way of making yes in a structured setting, and that's the kind of things we would teach how to do. Because if the child is reactive, right, if they're told they're no good in whatever kinds of ways, their behavior, their impulses, like that girl, you heard the story about, where she's told she's, a problem, and then finally someone sees her gift and says, you're a dancer, right? That's the kind of yes we want to give kids. We want to help them find their element, as Sir Ken Robinson talks about beautifully, to find their passion and to allow them to pursue it so they can develop these various areas of expertise, lay down the mile in their circuits that allow them to actually develop who they are as individuals, but also at the same time realize that we are all a part of an interconnected whole. To inspire them to rewire their brains is basically what a Mindsight approach does. And so what you do is you train the whole system that you're working in to think this way. You offer people the opportunities to come look at that triangle. If you take that triangle, which I teach people who work with really young kids, to use that triangle as an organizational principle, mind, brain, and relationships, it actually can organize an entire curriculum. That you follow that triangle through from preschool to high school, and you will have a different generation as these kids grow up.